Schools from Kansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, and Arkansas came to Kearney Smith Stadium this past Friday for a track meet featuring around 1,400 high school student athletes. The track meet was put on by the athletic department, and I talked with members of the Pitt State coaching staff, track coaching staff, for more details on how this event happened and who benefited from it the most.
This past Friday, the Pitt State Athletic Department put on a high school track meet for teams both near and far away from Pittsburgh at the Jock Snitch Guerrilla Relays. Over 55 different high schools brought athletes to compete in this event, and I talked with Pitt State track and field head coach Russ Jewett on who really is responsible for making this event go so smoothly.
Most of it really is done by our student athletes. It's a fundraiser for us, so all of the proceeds that we get from the entry fees we use in our budget to help us supplement. The physical plant, we rely on our physical plant a lot for all of the setup and getting the stadium ready and things like that.
I also talked with assistant coach and meet director Brian Mantooth, and he says that he feels the importance of these Pittsburgh State student athletes helping far exceeds just setting up a few hurdles.
This is a good way for our athletes to get back to the sport of track and field and mentor and nurture these young freshmen, sophomores, juniors, seniors,
I asked Coach Jewett what he feels the impact on Pitt State recruiting is with this event, and he was hesitant to say it was impactful on his team's recruiting and suggested it had a greater impact for Pittsburgh State as a school.
And so some of those may end up coming to Pitt State and being in our program, but that would be a very small percentage of the overall 1,400. I think it's just a great recruiting event for Pittsburgh State. There were just under 1,400 high school students here, so 1,400 prospective students, and the vast majority of them having a great experience.
I asked Coach Mantooth about what he feels like is the most beneficial thing this tournament provides to these young student athletes. His answer was the unique state championship-like atmosphere that their facilities and personnel provide.
Sometimes they've never been to a big facility, or they're like, whoa, this is big. Well, because that's not typical at a high school place. And it's just good for these young people to get onto our campus and see what Pittsburgh State's all about.
Coach Jewett says outside of a few technical glitches, he's very satisfied with how the track meet went, and he feels that this event definitely boosted the community and economy around Pittsburgh.
Almost nothing but very positive comments from coaches, from student athletes. Again, I'm just really proud of our student athletes for doing such a great job. I think it really reflected well on Pittsburgh State. Really brought a lot of money into the region with all those kids are going to eat somewhere, but I think it was a little bit of a shot in the arm economically for Pittsburgh as well.
Both Coach Mantooth and Coach Jewett implored that while the first people that get thanked are the members of the athletic department, that they could not do it without the help from the physical plant workers, local sponsors, and all the volunteers from around the community who helped run events. For Cats 13 Sports, I'm Caleb Withno.
Shifting gears now, the Pitt State softball team took the diamond this Tuesday for a doubleheader against the Bearcats of Southwest Baptist. Now is right there behind home plate to bring you the action. Let's jump right in. The start of this game could be considered a bit of a drag for fans who prefer high-octane offensive power, as both teams were deadlocked in a scoreless pitcher's duel through the first 3 innings of play. However, that would change in the bottom of the 4th when the Grills drew the first blood. Down to their last out of the inning, Kayla Holder would keep the Grills alive with the base on balls, which brought up the power hitter Katie Kikowski to the plate. It's a junior from Malaysia slapped an opposite field home run, breaking the deadlock between the two sides. The second baseman rewarded the great plate discipline from Holder with 2 runs would cross the plate, giving PSU the first lead of the game. Now, SPU would grab one in the top of the 5th, but the Grills answered. As we now jump to the bottom of the 5th, where the Grills would manufacture 4 runs in the inning. The rally started with Madison Wenger hitting a ball in the gap that would roll all the way to the fence, which would be good enough to score Alicia Lowry all the way around the diamond from first base. With the defense focused on Lowry, Wenger would end up at third base with the one-out triple. Drew Collins would then hit home. Wenger with the single to right, sending Mackenzie Goswick up to the plate with 1 on, 2 out, and the junior from Joplin, Missouri was ready as she crushed a 2-run bomb over the left field fence, scoring herself and Drew Collins to bring the PSU lead to 6 runs. The Bearcats would have no answer after the home run from Goswick. The girls would coast home to victory over Southwest Baptist in Game 1. With that, the Grills captured a convincing 6-2 victory over the Bearcats. While the Gorilla bats were excellent, you can't ignore the masterful pitching performance by Hallie Brand, as she would throw a complete game, tossing 7 full innings, allowing 3 hits and no earned runs. Katie Kikowski would be the Gorilla's top bat, as she went 1 for 2 with the home run and 2 RBIs. Now let's take you right to Game 2 to see how the Gorillas and Bearcats fared in the second half of the doubleheader. Shelby Smith would take the circle for the Gorillas, and while Game 1 took a few innings to develop, Game 2 was just the opposite. As the leadoff hitter Drew Collins would take first on a walk, Allie Goot would grab an infield single to third, and Alicia Lowry would drop a high-arcing bloop single to right field as the first 4 batters of the inning got on safely to load the bases for cleanup hitter Kayla Holder. No stage is too big for the junior from Olathe, as Holder sits on the very first pitch and plasters a no-doubter over the right field fence for the grand slam. The 4-bagger for Kayla Holder would net 4 runs for the Gorillas, as Holder's 8th home run of the year gives the Gorillas an absolute dream start to the contest. The Gorillas weren't done yet, however, as they seemed to like that whole 4-run inning thing, as they did it again in the third. They scored 4 runs off of 3 hits. Now trailing 8-0 in the top of the 4th, SBU tried to get some juice going as Corey Hillenberg took a shot deep to center, but she would get no other help from her teammates. And now, however, in the next half inning, despite the big lead, Kayla Holder was not going to let the Bearcats' home run go unanswered, as the third baseman absolutely tattoos a drive to left center field. It took Holder a bit to realize before promptly running the bases as the slugger launched her 9th home run of the season and the second on the day into the cedar trees behind the left field fence. Holder's home run kept the Gorillas lead at 8, allowing the Gorillas to cut this game 2 innings short, ending the 5th inning on a mercy rule. Fueled by two 4-run innings, the Gorillas took a commanding 9-1 victory over the Bearcats in the 5th inning. Shelby Smith was the winning pitcher after a stellar 5 innings, 4 hits, and 1 earned run that gave the Gorillas offense every chance to dominate this game. Kayla Holder was undoubtedly the top Gorilla bat as she went 2 for 3 for 5 RBIs, as both her home hits were home runs. Softball wasn't the only action on the diamond this week, as Pittsburg State baseball traveled to Springdale, Arkansas to face the Bulldogs of Arkansas State in an out-of-conference matchup. Pittsburg State would prevail with a final score of 9-3 as Corey Hott would pick up the win with 2 innings pitched, giving up 2 hits and 0 earned runs. John Oliver hit a grand slam in the game that lifted the Gorillas to victory as he went 1 for 3 with 5 RBIs and a home run. In other quick news, Jordan Burks received MIAA Track Athlete of the Week honors for his first place performance in the 110-meter hurdles at the Gorilla Classic on Saturday. Also, the baseball team will host the Griffins of Missouri Western tonight at 6 in Al Ordelani Field. We'll be right back after the break.